So in the last class, we were discussing the concept of semaphore, how we can manage the critical section problem. Critical section problem is the problem where you want to write something in your system and other processes are there who are interpreting your data. So to remove that race around condition, we are required to have a mechanism for the critical section. For this critical section, we have already seen mutual locks and Peterson solution. Now we were discussing the semaphore solution. In semaphore solution, we are having a variable S, capital S, that is for semaphore. Semaphore is nothing but an integer variable. There are two different operations, wait and signal. You can say P for wait, V for signal. Wait's code is like this. Whenever you are calling wait with the value semaphore, capital S, then if the value of S is 0 or negative, then you have to wait. If not, then in that case, S will be decremented and you are out of the wait. A simple thing is that if the value of semaphore S is greater than 0, then you will not wait. If the value of capital S is 0 or less than 0, then you have to wait. When this loop will be working, when the value of S will be less than or equal to 0. And it's an infinite loop. You will stuck into this loop until the value of S will be greater than or greater than 0. Then the signal operation. In signal operation, there is no wait. If you are calling signal S, then the value of S will be incremented. Simply you can understand, if you want to go in critical section, then before critical section you have to write wait, and after critical section you have to write signal. Then how this will work, we will discuss in the next slides. We have already discussed the two types of semaphore, counting and binary. Binary means the semaphore value may have 0 or 1, not more than 1. In counting semaphore, complete integer range semaphore can have. What is the difference? Basic difference. If you are having only two processes, you can use binary semaphore. If you are having more than two processes, then you can use counting semaphore. Before the solution, we have discussed Peterson solution. In Peterson solution, there is a limitation that can manage only up to two processes, not more than that. Semaphore uses example. How you are going to use semaphore. Solution to the critical section problem. Create a semaphore mutex initialized to 1, or you can say mutex or capital S, both are same if you are talking about only two processes. How you will change your code? Before critical section, you will write wait. After critical section, you will write signal. If the value of S, or you can say the mutex, is less than or equal to 0, then it will stuck here. It will not go in critical section problem, critical section part. If the value of S is greater than 0, then only that while loop will not be working and you are going to critical section. Now, suppose execution like P1 and P2 are the two processes that with two statements S1 and S2. Okay. there is one statement S1 in P1, there is another statement S2 in P2. And the requirement is that S1 to happen before S2. S1 must happen before S2. Can you manage using the semaphores? Yes, we can also manage this kind of question. If we are writing a code like this in P1, after S1, we are writing signal. In P2, before S2, we are writing wait. And initially, we are initializing the value of sync to 0. Sync is a very value. You are giving the name to the semaphore. Semaphore name is here sync. So sync value is in starting 0. Suppose these two processes are running simultaneously. What we want? S1 to execute before S2. That's why we have written this kind of code. Now suppose this P2 is executing very fast and we have entered here. So what will happen? Will it execute S2? No. First we are going here, wait. It will check whether the sync value is greater than or equal to greater than 0 or not. No. Sync value is equal to 0. That's why you have to wait here. According to wait protocol, if the value of semaphore is 0 or less than 0, then you have to wait. Here the sync value is already 0. Then it will stuck here. After some time, P1 will be executing, then S1 will be executing. After S1 completion, after statement 1 completion, it will call signal. Signal means you can see the last slides. In signal, you are incrementing the semaphore value. If the value of the semaphore is incremented now, then the sync value will be 1. It will increment to 1. Now sync value is 1. Now when the value of this sync is 1, your while loop will break and you are going to enter S2. In this case, S1 is executing before S2. You cannot uh, come out of this wait until the value of semaphore is greater than 0. And when this semaphore value is greater than 0, only after this signal. Because semaphore value can be modified only with two operations, that is wait or signal. You cannot write sync equal to sync plus 1 here outside. Now semaphore implementation. How you are implementing the semaphore using programming language. It must guarantee that no two processes can execute the wait and signal on the same semaphore at the same time. Uh, so you have to ensure that whenever you are calling wait, both or all the processes that are going to use critical section part, they are calling their wait or signal, they should not be simultaneous. Suppose process 1 is also calling wait, process 2 is also calling wait. At that time, the semaphore value is 1. They both the for loop, both the while loops will not work if they are working same time. But in your system, no lines are executing simultaneously. No two lines are executing simultaneously. It is a case you can run two different statements after an interval, after a gap. You cannot run simultaneous. It can be implemented using any of the critical section solution we discussed, where the wait and signal code are placed in the critical section. Like in the previous slide, it could now have busy waiting in critical section implementation. Busy waiting is there. Busy waiting means system is not doing any task and system is stuck in while loop. System has to work. System has to check again and again for the while loop. System is busy, but system is not doing any important task. That is why we are calling it as busy waiting. But implementation code is short, little busy waiting if critical section rarely occupied. If you are writing your critical section part very rarely, then it will be okay. Busy waiting will not take so much time. But if in your code there are so many critical section parts again and again, so your system need to use that busy waiting and it will be busy for all the times. That will not be good for you. Note that for regular applications where the application may spend a lot of time in critical sections, this is not a good solution. Implementation with no busy waiting. If you want no busy waiting should be there, then what should be there? Then yeah, you have to change your wait and signal operation little bit. Then it will be removing the busy waiting point. How? In your wait operation, if the semaphore value is less than or equal to 0, then add this process to semaphore list. Means you can directly say you are blocking this process. If the value of semaphore is less than 0, then that process will be blocked, or you can say it will be suspended. It will be going into waiting queue directly. When the other process that is already running its critical section, when that process will be finishing their task, then it will call awake function, so that which process is already sleeping, it will call that particular process, and then it can go into their critical section part. In section in critical section, you are removing a process from that waiting queue. You are calling a wake up call. So I can tell you in similar words like you have to modify this wait and signal operation. In wait operation, you have to remove this while operation where you are working on busy waiting. If the semaphore value is less than 0, then it will be suspended. Else, in this signal part, you are writing a awake call that will be awaken the processes that are already sleeping in the waiting queue. Now our next topic is the deadlock. It is also a very important topic. It will be having few numericals. It will be having some codes. So moreover, if you are going for an interview, it is the most important topic asked in your interview questions because it is somehow theoretical and somehow logical. You have to know the concept of the deadlock. Um, One more thing I want to say, if you have not understand the previous topics like critical section, Peterson solution, any other topic, then this topic is completely different. You can even start from here also. If you don't know any previous topic, let it be. You can create a new beginning from here. Deadlock. What is deadlock? Definition of a deadlock. Two or more processes are waiting indefinitely for an event that can be caused by only one of the waiting processes. Once again, I am reading. Just read out one by one. Two or more processes are waiting indefinitely. Okay, there are two or more processes that are waiting for an event. Okay, that can be caused by only one of the waiting processes. Okay, that why they are waiting? Due to only one of the waiting processes they are waiting. Okay, let S and Q be the two semaphores initialized to 1. Okay, these are two semaphores S and Q initialized to 1. In P naught, process P naught, we have written wait S, wait Q, signal S, signal Q. In P1 also we have written wait Q, wait S, signal Q, signal S. What will happen now? Semaphore value is 1. Okay. Now we are going here. Suppose this line is executing first. Both the processes are running parallelly. Now wait S will decrement the value of the semaphore S and make it to 0. Now the value of S is 0. At the same time, P1 is also executing. This line will execute. Wait Q. It will decrement the value Q. It will be now 0. Both S and Q are now 0. Then this line is executing. Wait Q. If the value of Q is less than or equal to 0, then you have to wait. Obviously, it will stuck in while loop. Here, wait S. As the value of S is now 0, so it will also stuck. It will be waiting when the value of S will be greater than 0. It will be waiting when the value of Q will be greater than 0. But no one will moving. Why? Because only signal operation can increment the value and neither P naught is going here nor P1 is going here. So they will be stuck in here. What if these two lines are not executing? These two lines are executing first. What will happen then? Wait S, the value of S will be 0. Then it is again going to wait Q, then value of Q will be 0. Both the lines will be covered. Then you are going here, signal S, you are incrementing the signal, you are incrementing the Q. Both the values will be now 1. Then P1 can be used. After P0, P1 can execute. After P1, P0 can execute. But if these statements are parallel, these are running parallelly, then we will have a stuck condition which is known as a deadlock situation, where no process is moving forward because of the other process. Consider if P0 executes wait S and P1 wait Q. When P0 executes wait Q, it must wait until P1 executes signal. However, P1 is waiting until P0 executes signals. Since these signal operations will never be executed, P0 and P1 are deadlocked. This is a condition. Consider, we are considering if P0 executes wait 1 and P2 will execute wait Q, then only. If after this statement is executing, then there is no problem. If after this statement is executing, then it is a problem. And you cannot guarantee that these two lines will be executing simultaneously because you are running those two processes concurrently. You cannot be ensured. Other forms of deadlock: starvation. Starvation means indefinite blocking. You are blocking a particular process. We have already discussed this starvation while discussing the SJF condition, shortest job first. In shortest job first, if the new processes are coming again and again, and all of those processes are having less burst time, then the processes with high burst time will be stuck for longer duration of time, maybe indefinite time. That situation is known as starvation. Here, a process may never be removed from the semaphore queue in which it is suspended. It is known as starvation. Priority inversion, scheduling problem when lower priority processes hold a lock needed by higher priority processes, known as priority inversion. Some lower priority task is there which is having a lock and it locks. Now higher priority task is there but it cannot run due to that lower priority task. That is known as priority inversion. Priority inversion means lower priority task is having the higher priority than the actual higher priority task, solved by a priority inheritance protocol that we are not even going to study. We are skipping this part. So our main concern is to have this deadlock situation. How we can avoid this? How we can remove this? This is a complete unit, deadlock. Today we are stopping here. In the next class, we will be discussing few more concepts about deadlock. Deadlock is a very bigger problem that we have to manage.